crack my can.
Okay.
Every time we say levels, I think of the Jonas Brothers. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
There's Joe Jonas.
Okay.
There's Nick Joe Jonas and Dave Joe Jonas.
Okay.
I forget all the Joe Jonas. I used to do this bit on the radio whenever we play a Jonas Brothers song. I would say, oh, it's the Jonas Brothers. It's Carl Jonas. It's Austin Jonas. And I just give a bunch of names that weren't like Zebediah Jonas, Josiah Jonas. I just like name all the boys that they aren't.
Do people get mad at you?
I don't know if people get mad. I think it's cute to do that.
Yeah.
But there's a new movie. I saw the trailer for it today, and it stars a Jonas brother. Did you know? I guess they act, right? They're like Nickelodeon boys.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so. No, I was thinking Harry Styles. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we don't say anything bad about Harry Styles around.
I'm not. I know that
Ixnay motion on my
he's an actor.
I mean, he wasn't Dunkirk Harry Styles, but
I know.
there's a new movie that's Paul Rudd versus Joe Jonas. Like Joe Jonas.
I saw that trailer.
It's like Paul Rudd writes a song and then Nick Joe Jonas or Joe Jonas steals the song.
I think it's written by David Wayne, which makes
really?
me really want to see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go down a little tangent, and I might be mixing up the State Boys because there's David Wayne and who's Michael Showalter.
Michael Showalter, yeah.
There was a movie, it's like a romantic comedy with Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine, where the premise is basically like Harry Styles dates regular lady Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
And it's not Harry Styles, it's like serial numbers filed off, but it's like kind of a romantic, it's not even a comedy, it's just like a romance movie based on a book. It's called The Idea of You. And my partner is obsessed with it. And I was watching it a lot. And it's like really good. And it's David Wayne. And it's just like.
Wait, it's David Wayne.
I think it's either Wayne or Showalter made it.
It's not. It wouldn't be Wayne. Wayne can't do serious.
Well, then maybe Michael Showalter did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Might be Showalter.
Everything Wayne does is layered with 5 layers of iron.
Well, it was like a really sincere, like just kind of straight ahead romantic movie that I was like, oh, one of the guys from The State did this. And I was like, I thought it was very well done. Right. I like it.
But not real Jonas, a fake Jonas.
Oh, no, it's a fake Harry Styles.
Oh, sorry.
Like a Harry Styles type in a boy band.
Right.
Who, this single mom played by Anne Hathaway, just totally normal lady as played by Anne Hathaway. Goes to see him perform and they end up dating. And I don't know, it's a good movie. I like it. But, just a shocker from the fellas from The State.
Yeah, who knew?
I don't know. Did you see the trailer for the Joe Jonas one?
Yeah, I did.
It didn't look that good.
No.
It's Showalter, right?
No, it's Wayne.
It's Wayne.
It's only because it's Wayne that I'd want to see it. Otherwise, I would think it looked awful. Yeah. But all right, we'll see.
Can I double check?
Yeah, please. And I usually cut it out if we're way wrong about stuff, but let's check all that.
The Idea of You is Michael Showalter. So yeah, I had it wrong, but easy mix up. Hopefully no one will be too mad that I mixed up.
Okay, and I think I am wrong. So I'll cut out. Well, no, I won't.
Yeah, leave it all in. It's fine.
And so it's a different upcoming movie that looked bad on the trailer, but it was Wayne. That's a Wayne movie. Yeah. So who knows about it?
Well, we've garbled up a bunch of movie information at the start of the show. We've cracked into our high noons.
Gingerbread Man Down, Clean Up on Aisle Podcast.
Yeah.
You are listening to Clean Up on Aisle Podcast, the dirty truth about grocery stores. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. It's you and me today. We're kind of doing an emergency episode.
We love the emergencies.
Yeah, you said that you had a strange grocery store experience, and then there's a lawsuit that's coming up that we probably need to talk about and kind of touches on a lot of things that, we need to weigh in on as our preeminent authorities on grocery store stuff. Sometimes the news is the news and we got to dig in.
That's right.
So let's start with where you were this weekend. We're recording the day after Mother's Day. I hope that's okay to say. And you went to my hometown, Long Beach, California.
I did.
And you were trying to get me to go. I had a different thing where my parents were coming up to the desert to stay with me. So just we were like ships in the night. You were visiting my hometown, and my hometown family came to the desert.
That's right. But I was literally very close to where you grew up.
Yeah. I guess we can say.
It doesn't matter.
Well, look, I grew up really close to like one of the most insane landmarks in Long Beach. It's Cal State Long Beach has I guess it's not even their sports stadium, but their basketball stadium is in the shape of a giant blue pyramid. You know, I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole a little bit. It wasn't there when I was born, or like I remember them building it.
Okay.
And I was very much like a kid. What, they're building a giant blue pyramid? And nobody really remarks on it. It's just part of the landscape, and it's just taken for granted.
Yeah.
It was featured in one episode of Sliders. So I used to be a big Sliders fan. The show with Jerry O'Connell and I forget, is it Jonathan Rhys-Meyers? He's the guy that played Gimli in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And he's the guy with the fez from Indiana Jones.
Right.
Which, they brought that guy back for the new one.
No. I mean,
They didn't need to do that. You could have maybe not brought that character back.
I mean, the whole thing's just fan service at this point, right?
Yeah, but that one's also like a little like he's kind of doing an accent of a guy that's not him.
Right.
He's like a Welsh guy who's doing kind of
A poo kind of thing.
They didn't need to bring that character back for the new one.
Right.
But so Sliders, the premise of the show Sliders was that Jerry O'Connell and crew would jump from universe to universe all the time. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah. Oh, I know Sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they went to one universe where it was like the Egyptian Empire never ended. And so they used as just like an establishing shot the giant blue pyramid at Cal State Long Beach, and then inside was like a techno pyramid.
Cool.
Actually just like a basketball stadium.
Right. It is bizarre, and it's bizarre that people don't talk about it more. There's, it's like the Randy's Donuts in Inglewood is more famous than a giant pyramid. Like, that's weird.
It's in a pretty suburban part of Long Beach. Like, if you're not going to Cal State Long Beach or coming to visit me or my parents, there's not a ton of reasons to be like in that part of Long Beach specifically.
Well, another thing that we found out the hard way is that it does not photograph well, because it is the same color as the sky. So it looks like you're taking a picture of nothing.
Okay, were you trying to take photographs of it?
Yeah, I mean, a little selfie or something like that. It just looks like I'm taking a picture in front of the sky.
It was like, what would be a better color for that pyramid?
I don't know. Brown?
Pink.
Yeah, pink, yeah.
Because they obviously are not trying to make it look like a pyramid. And if you don't know what a pyramid is, that's where Lee Cronin's The Mummy is from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I know.
But those are brown. Those are in Egypt. And this is bright. It's sky blue, I guess. I don't know, green, pink, like one of the other M&M colors would be good.
Right.
Maybe not.
Yellow?
Yeah, yellow. Well, yellow is like too Egyptian. Then people would say, oh, that's where Lee Cronin's mummy is. If I go there, then I'm going to get turned into stuffed in a sarcophagus for 8 years. Come back, kill my family. Did you see Lee Cronin's The Mummy?
No. I was going along with you.
But so, okay, you were in Long Beach. You were going to, what was the event?
The 26th annual USA Sumo Open, which, as far as some people were saying it was the largest sumo event outside of Japan. If that's true, it was pretty small.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there were people there, but like, if that's it, like, I don't know, this sport.
I mean, outside of Japan, like maybe in the Western world or whatever.
So there were a fair number of like people from like Azerbaijan and like sort of that area.
I don't know.
The Turkmenistan and stuff like that.
No, Azerbaijan.
Yeah, just like, the East Europe to the point of being former Soviet states.
Okay.
There were a fair number, for whatever reason, there were a fair number of sumo guys there. There were also 3 lady sumo wrestlers. And there were a lot of Americans. The host made a lot of weird, like patriotic kind of comments that didn't really land with the crowd that I was with. But it was great. It was great. And it was the second time I've been, and I 100% would go back, and maybe will go back next year.
Can I ask, and I hope that this is not an insensitive question, and if it is, please chop it out. What do the lady sumo wrestlers wear?
They wear kind of like what you would imagine like a lady like power lifter to wear.
Okay, like a singlet?
Yeah, sort of like a singlet, yeah.
I've been reading Metamorpho comics. Familiar with the character of Metamorpho?
Vaguely.
He was in the new Superman movie, although they made him sad, even though he's like a swinging hepcat in the comic. And there's a female equivalent of Metamorpho. And so the Metamorpho is like really like, the part of the character is that he's like very disfigured and looks strange, and he wears like just little small black shorts. A similar thing to the Thing from Fantastic Four. And then they have a female equivalent of Metamorpho, and they have a female equivalent of the Thing also in some of the 80s Fantastic Four comics. And they just put like the bikini. It's like the deformed skin, the short pants, like bikini instead of short pants. So I was curious if they did that with sumo as well.
No. I mean, the ladies are big ladies. They're
Sharon Ventura, when she got turned into the lady Thing, she's also a big lady.
Yeah. But also a lot of the guys don't wear some of them do wear the full, whatever strap kind of a look, but a lot of guys just wear shorts and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has sumo gone woke?
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, it was super fun. There's like different weight classes. So you see really little guys and then you see big guys. And the guy who won, I'm still feeling a little weird about it because he was the only guy from Japan who was there. And he competed in the biggest weight class, but he was not of that weight class. He was skinnier. And he just destroyed everybody. Really? Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess, we were joking like, oh, maybe working out and being a fit person helps in this sport.
I would say.
Yeah.
Who did you roll with? Because I know you go with a lot of Highland Park TV people. Any former guests of this podcast?
Former guests would be Julian Shine and Nathan Fligsten.
All right.
And then some other people, of a similar friend circle.
From Highland Park and associated friend of Highland Park, possibly. So, did everybody stay and party in Long Beach?
No. So, we went to Seal Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to
Seal Beach.
Yeah, we went to Seal Beach after. It was a smaller break-off crowd, and we just sat on the beach. We had a good time, played like a little beach game, and then we went
Blanket Bingo?
No, it's this game that Nate's girlfriend Luce plays in Argentina. It's very fun. It's similar to bocce, I guess. You sort of throw a thing and try to get it close to another thing. But it's fun. We had a good time. Yeah.
And you said that you had a unusual circumstance happen.
So then so I was a little bit of just kind of like a hanger-on. It's weird being in LA without having like my normal stuff going on because
What do you mean normal stuff?
Like having a house to retreat to and work on my little projects. That's what I always would do. Like, I'll just go home and work on my little projects. I always got one. But I didn't have that.
Were you staying in a hotel?
Yeah, kind of. That was weird too. So it was on booking.com. So I thought it was some kind of a somewhat legitimate thing, but it was just a lady's house. And she had to like buzz me in. It was a little awkward, but whatever, it's fine. So yeah, I stayed in a lady's house in Alhambra.
Where? I'm from the area, but that's not quite Long Beach. Where's Alhambra?
No. It's near. It's closer to Highland Park and stuff like that. Yeah, closer
I
to.
thought you were staying in Long Beach for some reason. Okay.
Yeah. So then we drove back up, and there was a little bit of like, hey, are we still hanging out? And it seemed like people did want to hang out, but their energy was low. So they were like, well, we're just going to go to Trader Joe's and we're going to get food and we're going to watch a movie and you guys are down to come with that. But that's what's happening, was basically the thing. So we went to a brand new Trader Joe's in South Pasadena.
Okay.
At the site of a former Vons. It is opened as of, I think, 2025, so about a year old.
Okay, and does it still feel like a Vons?
It had a huge Vons parking lot, which is unusual for an LA Trader Joe's.
Yes.
And it itself was huge. So it was easily the largest Trader Joe's I've ever been to.
All right, I'm excited to hear more, but I'm going to tell you where I'm at hearing this story. I can't imagine that the stuff that they sell at Trader Joe's could fill up a Vons-sized space because they don't have that much actual stuff.
It didn't feel empty in a way that when we went to Aldi kind of felt like weird too much room, kind of. It felt, I mean, there was a lot of people. So it was pre-Mother's Day, and we walked up and we're like, is there some kind of event going on? Because there were just tons of people kind of swarming the entrance. And we realized that they had flowers. They had flowers out front, and then they had flowers taking up a whole like a row where the produce would normally go. So people were going nuts over Trader Joe's flowers when we first walked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have I have flowers questions for you. And not to dig too much into your romantic life, but are you a guy that gives flowers to people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've never been that great at it, but I try, especially if a partner expresses that they enjoy that sort of a thing and enjoy the occasional surprise flower, then I will give the occasional surprise flower.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not been great at the surprise flower thing. When my partner used to live downtown Los Angeles, there's a big flower market there. I never actually went to the flower market with her, but she had a friend who his date was meet a lady at a party, stay up all night, and then when the flower market opens at like 4 or 5 in the morning, you take the lady to the flower market and buy her flowers. Pretty good. That's a pretty good date type.
Yeah, I mean, if it feels like that could only work a handful of times, if that.
Like on the same lady?
Yeah, no, different ladies.
Okay.
Like you'd have to find someone who's willing to stay up all night.
This is a mutual friend of ours who's no longer with us, who was a particular type of guy with ladies.
Yeah, a looker.
But I never got flowers from my partner, and for whatever reason, I never ever buy flowers. Never. She buys herself flowers. She likes so Miley Cyrus, she buys herself flowers. This year, Valentine's Day, last Valentine's Day, not this Valentine's Day, we were watching Lost, and there's a famous scene in Lost where Sawyer, he has a single sunflower, and he goes and gives it to a lady, and you don't know who he's dating, and you find out that he's dating Juliet, because he shows up at the door holding a single sunflower. So I did that to my partner, and my plan was to do that to my partner. We just watched that Lost episode, and I went to a few local nurseries and could not find. It's on Valentine's Day, very last minute, as your Mother's Day people are, very last minute. I went to the local Vons, and they had like sixers of sunflowers, and they were able to break one up and prorate me with just the single sunflower.
That's great.
Very, very kind.
Yeah.
But wasn't that crowded on Valentine's Day?
The Vons.
The Vons 2025. Like, and they have a proper like florist with, people who there are specifically cutting flowers and stuff like that. Does Trader Joe's, they don't have somebody on site like cutting the flowers, do they?
They had, I mean, I think I have heard that their flower selection is surprisingly good for its price and stuff like that. But I think it's also like everything in Trader Joe's where any of the cutting probably happened somewhere in a warehouse and then it gets put in plastic and brought there. But they had a lot of flowers and people seemed really excited about them. They didn't seem like an afterthought.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why was everybody fucking... This is the Saturday night before Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was like maybe 7:30 p.m.
Okay. So this is all the last minute. I mean,
Yeah.
I did my Valentine'sing pretty, after I got done on the morning show. This would be 11 a.m. on Valentine's Day at the earliest. But these people are, still just swarming at 7:30 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was, I've been to the Silver Lake Trader Joe's. I was naturally just going to be like, this is going to be a nightmare. And I saw all these people swarming. I was like, this is going to be awful. We also didn't really have a plan for it's a little bit of lack of communication about what's even happening. So I was kind of like, should I get myself a sandwich and just eat it? And, just trying to feel things out, But then they were like, well, we're going to cook some food. And I was like, I would cook for you guys. So they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll cook you a stir fry. And then so I got ingredients to cook them a stir fry. And also the Trader Joe's was totally chill. There was tons of space. There was tons of people working there. I didn't have to wait in line at any moment. I could easily get to where I needed to get to. And it was easily the chillest Trader Joe's experience I've ever had, even with all the swarming people.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I have found, even when it's heaving, and most Trader Joe's I've been to are pretty heaving, and I've been to some bigger ones, like the one by Cal State Long Beach, the one closest to the pyramid, is a pretty sizable new Trader Joe's with like several entrances and like abundant parking. And even though it's always crowded, I never feel like I'm waiting too long in line at a Trader Joe's. I've been to one in Bakersfield, which, again, massive, like designed for, it's like probably the first Trader Joe's in Bakersfield. And boy, do they need a Trader Joe's in Baker. They do. I'm being serious, but they were ready for that Trader Joe's. You go there, it is just wild. But I never, it looks crowded and it looks chaotic, the line situation, but you always can kind of get in pretty quick. Like, They do line it up. They do serve you. They do get you in and out as best as they can at a Trader Joe's. So kudos to that Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Shout out to South Pasadena Trader Joe's in the former Vons.
Are a lot of the Highland Park TV people using that Trader Joe's?
I don't know. But I know that Nate and Luce felt very comfortable. Like they go there frequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like it was like empty. Like they were just like, it felt appropriate. It felt like it fit the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Felt great. It's good. I would go back.
All right. Well, that's our update on the new Trader Joe's in Los Angeles. Thank you.
Sure.
I have I wasn't planning on talking about this on the show today. I did have a bit of a Mother's Day note about Costco for Mother's Day.
Okay.
So my parents came out for Mother's Day. My parents very against me and my partner moving to the desert, and as soon as I moved to the desert, they're like, "Oh, we love that you live in the desert. When can we come visit you as much as possible?" So they came out and they pitched grilling branzinos, which is a whole fish. It's like, I believe, a Chilean sea bass, also known as a branzino. My parents are obsessed with Costco, so they go to the Costco in Signal Hill, which is a small town completely surrounded on all sides by Long Beach. It's like a little island of a city in the middle of Long Beach, and that's where our Costco is. Grew up going to that one. My dad still loves to go to it. So they went to the Costco and they're like, "Oh, they got this great fish at Costco." And so they went on Wednesday and Thursday started a text chain like, "How many branzinos should we buy? How many whole fish?" And my partner said 2, and I said maybe 3. So I didn't know how big they were. And in the past, I've seen them be a little small. It's usually, and when I've done it for my partner, I think we've done 2 for both of us, but they're the smaller ones. So my parents, I said, I guess they got the branzinos, and I was joking about it on the morning show that I do. It's like, well, no one's popping into Costco. That's not a pop-in place. You go to Costco, you do your big shop, you head home. You're not going to go to Costco every day. My parents were there on Thursday, saw the fish. They said, we'll go back Saturday and get the fresher fish.
Okay.
They went back Saturday to get the fresher fish. They were out of the branzino. So then they left without buying anything and went back again on Sunday.
Okay.
So that's a 3 Costco in 1 week.
And they had branzino on Sunday?
They only had like 1 branzino. It was like misshelved. It was with the trout. So my parents did get a class pack of branzinos, which... to use the best show terminology, the class pack, it's a 3-pack of pornographic magazines. Where you put a reasonable pornographic magazine on one side and a reasonable one on the other side and a really gnarly one in the middle. Shrink wrap it.
Okay.
So that's how you sell the bad ones.
And is that what happened with the branzino?
No, all the branzinos are really good.
Okay.
It was a shrink wrap thing of branzinos, three whole fish. So
Got it.
it's kind of a class pack there.
Got it. Yeah. Was it enough?
It was more than enough. We only ate 2 of the fish. I had never really grilled branzinos before, and it came out really fantastic, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Easy fish to cook. Not that you just stuff it with lemon and herbs, but I couldn't believe that my parents went to Costco 3 times in 1 week. That's too many. That's too many times for 1 week.
Yeah, that's
unfathomable.
That's a lot of Costco. For sure.
But yeah, we did the branzinos, and we had a very nice Mother's Day. So. And is there any way to do the transition from we were talking from mothers to Marzanos? Is that anything?
It's an alliteration.
Sort of something.
Yeah, that's something.
Well, we want to talk San Marzano tomatoes. This is the reason we kind of wanted to do an emergency podcast. And we both did some research on this, and while this like made headlines recently, I don't think that this is something new. This has been going on for a while. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I guess the impetus for the episode is I keep up with food news. It's something I do for my day job as part of the morning show and also for this podcast. And I came across a new lawsuit. I saw the first article around May 7th. It's May 12th, May 11th that we're recording this. So a few days ago, and there is a $25 million lawsuit against Cento brand tomatoes because they are mislabeling their tomatoes as San Marzano tomatoes, right?
Yes.
So what have you discovered about this lawsuit?
All right. So first of all, it should be mentioned that for the most part, people treat the word San Marzano similar as like Parmigiano Reggiano or like Champagne. That
The PDO.
Yeah, it needs to be grown in a specific region with a specific type of tomato with a specific practice.
It's a very like precise, regulated thing. It's what I actually don't have. It's a protected, designated. I don't have what the PDO actually stands for, unfortunately. Protected designation of origin, perhaps.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I have.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And I think, we're talking tomatoes, but the most famous one of all these PDOs is Champagne.
Yeah.
So Champagne has to be made in a specific region, has to be made a specific way from a specific grape by specific people. And it is like a registered thing. It's like part of the European Union, if I understand it correctly. It
Yes.
dates back to 1992. And it's like a protected thing. So if you are making champagne in California, as drunk Orson Welles loves to talk about.
Yeah.
Have you seen that commercial?
Of course.
Okay, that's my favorite thing in the entire world. Drunk Orson Welles doing his Parmesan, the outtakes from his Parmesan commercial. There's a California champagne inspired by that same French excellence. And like the best French champagne is vintage dated right on the bottle. I could do the whole thing. I won't do the voice. I could do the voice.
But this is before. This is when they were calling non-champagne champagne.
Yeah, this is from like the 70s. And I assume that makers like Parmesan probably led to this designation where you cannot call something champagne unless it is specifically made Champagne region. San Marzano tomatoes is one of those things. We could do it a little later, but I actually have a list of some really interesting PDOs.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so obviously we're talking San Marzano tomatoes, which are very specific. I did find one other tomato that is a protected PDO. It is a Tomataki Santorini, which is a variety of cherry tomato from Santorini, Greece.
Okay.
So it's different from San Marzano, and we'll talk about why San Marzanos are the way that they are. But I would say that going through this list of PDOs, the majority of them are actually dairy-based. It feels like a lot of them are cheese, yogurt. I mean, I think the most famous one, you said Pecorino Romano.
I said Parmigiano
Romano.
Reggiano or something.
Yeah, Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah.
Pecorino Romano. Asiago is a specifically designated cheese.
Interesting.
Comté is a French cheese. I was looking. There's a lot of
Straight out as Comté.
there's a lot of hams like Hambon de Bayonne is a French ham. Iberico. I think you can't just have a ham and cure it in the Iberico style. It has to be pig grown in that region of Spain and done in a particular way. Camembert is a cheese. Roquefort.
Oh yeah.
There's some yogurt ones that are pretty interesting that I found, but I have a couple particular ones that I enjoyed. There's a paprika. Zetavska paprika is a specific production of red paprika made in, I think it's the Slovak Republic. It's a PDO designation from Slovak Republic. There's a peas one. Do you have peas?
Yes.
Okay. It's Latvian large grain peas. Latvijas lilija pleki, popular Latvian cuisine snack made from large gray peas, traditional Christmas dish. Peas for Christmas.
Yeah. I just want to point out that a lot of these produce come from South America.
Really?
Yeah, tomatoes do, peppers do. So this is our ancestry. Like it only goes back,
A few hundred years.
few hundred years.
I mean, the PDO designation itself is only, 92, so that's like 30 years old.
Yeah.
Here's a fun one. From Finland, it's a particular type of potato. The Lapin pukula is a potato that they made for cold climates so that they could grow them in Finland.
Also from South America.
Yeah. And cold smoked reindeer meat, also from Lapland.
Now that's a Finnish thing.
Yeah, that's definitely from Finland.
Yeah.
So, I mean, digging into those origins of the San Marzano tomatoes, I was reading that like tomatoes were presented to Italy like as a gift from like the emperor or king of Peru back in the day.
Okay.
Have you seen anything to support that?
No, it sounds whitewashed as fuck. 'Cause-
Really?
I mean, think about what the Spanish were doing. I don't know about the Italians, but just think about how awful that whole history was. And then meanwhile, they're going to get this wonderful gift to,
So you're saying it's probably not a gift from the emperor?
Yeah, not out of pure kindness and at the guns at barrel.
But so, all right, we're talking the vegetables is potatoes is from South America?
Peppers, tomatoes.
I guess paprika would be a specific pepper, but I guess I always think of paprika as being more the process of like drying it
Yeah, it's just like a bell pepper.
and smoking it.
Yeah. But it's the same way that they say coriander. It's like
just cilantro.
yeah,
Although they do call the leaf coriander in Australia as well.
right.
And they say cilantro, people don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what a PDO is. And San Marzano tomatoes is a very specific PDO. It must be grown. There it is. So San Marzano tomatoes, sorry, I'm saying it in an Italian way. San Marzano tomatoes must be grown in Valle del Sarno, in the Sarno Valley. And so if it is a San Marzano tomato grown outside of that valley and outside of that specific area, it is not a San Marzano tomato. So this was very popular and it was cultivated in like that volcanic ash. And they're saying that it was like totally stripped for parts. Have you seen anything about this?
In terms of the actual tomatoes there, or when they
Genetics of the tomato.
Okay.
So they are saying that like a San Marzano tomato, which have you ever had fresh San Marzano?
let's talk about that. Finish this. We'll talk about cooking with them.
So it's long and it's very sweet. It's not very acidic, and they became very popular for canning, and that's kind of why they got popular. They're a little sweeter than other tomatoes. So in America, they started getting these San Marzano seeds, and you can grow these tomatoes outside of this particular region of Italy. It just is not San Marzano certified. And American farmers really got into crossbreeding them with a few other tomato types, and that's led to the Roma tomato, which if you're cooking with fresh tomatoes or buying canned tomatoes that were made in America, they're probably more likely going to be Romas, which are, I guess they look a little bit more like a plum.
Yeah, they're just sort of long.
They're not even long.
They're
Closer to round. They're a little oblong, maybe like bean-shaped.
Sure.
Big.
Yeah.
Well, San Marzanos look more like chili peppers.
Right.
So the Roma tomato is kind of our domesticated version of that tomato. And I think a lot of other, produce nations like took some of the great genes of the San Marzano that make it unique and excellent for packaging and just crossbred it into like other variants, other breeds. But we're not talking about a big beefsteak tomato. This is not the tomato that you're going to get on your. Does Big Mac have tomato? Sorry.
Yeah.
Does Big Mac have tomato?
2 all beef patties, lettuce, tomato. Yeah.
Okay. It's not the tomato that's on your Big Mac. It's like the tomato that you're going to roast or use in like Italian food, even though the Roma is like the domesticated American variety.
And specifically, they hold less water than a big beefsteak, so that's why they have more flavor, or whatever. It's just because there's not as much water. It's more
Less seeds. That's important.
right?
I mean, a beefsteak tomato or an heirloom tomato is like almost a little fruitier. Mm-hmm. Like maybe the Roma tomato actually feels a bit more like a vegetable, a more vegetal tomato.
Yeah. So let's talk about you cooking with them.
Okay.
Tell me about your history cooking with San Marzanos.
Oh, here's the thing. And so I learned early days of me getting more into cooking that when you're making like tomato sauce, like they often say that tomatoes that are going to come in a can are going to be picked at their prime, whereas some of the Roma tomatoes you're getting at the grocery store are going to be a little more weathered or transported.
Well, they're picked early so that they can sit around for longer. Yeah.
And that they're going to like ripen on the shelf or in the truck or whatever. So I think a lot of the recipe writers that I was into in the early days of my cooking really recommended using canned tomatoes.
For a sauce or something.
Yeah. For Italian food. I mean, for doing sliced tomatoes, like I think the big thing that we use a Roma tomato for in my house, and this is a dish my partner makes, is a ratatouille. Because you cut the Roma tomato and it fits exactly alongside the eggplant and the squash, and it's like exactly that right perfect shape. But I'm not, unless I have a bunch of Roma tomatoes on hand that my partner bought and she went away and we're not getting used, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to buy a can of whole tomatoes. Whole tomatoes.
Not crushed. I know that we've talked about sliced is no good.
Diced is no good.
Diced is no good.
Yes.
But crushed is fine, but you still buy the wholes.
I like the whole ones, and like if I'm going to cook with them, I will blend them, I think. Although sometimes if I'm really feeling lazy, I will buy the crushed.
Sure.
And I do want to, we have talked about the diced tomatoes thing before, because there's a particular bugaboo I've got at the moment. With the television show The Bear. Have you ever seen the
Yeah, I have a lot of bugaboos about that. I don't know if we're going to get in this rabbit hole.
Okay, well, I don't think we can talk to canned tomatoes in 2026 without talking about The Bear.
Yeah, the final scene of the first season.
Yeah, we're going to spoil that a little bit.
Yeah, spoiler, if you haven't seen The Bear and you care about the final, I don't know, it is a pivotal moment.
One of the dumbest twists, one of the dumbest season finale twists I've ever seen in the show.
It was Arrested Development. the money in the banana stand.
Yeah, well, so in the end of the episode, they're struggling financially all season, and then it turns out that the dead brother put a bunch of cash in these cans of tomatoes. They are the Simpson brand of tomatoes, I believe.
Okay.
And if you're not familiar with the Simpson brand of tomatoes, they're like a white can with a picture of a tomato, like on the side, like kind of wallpapering around it.
Bart on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just always, they're an Italian restaurant and they have diced tomatoes. They have just cans and cans of diced tomatoes.
I see.
And I mean, maybe this is like some foodie knowledge, but J. Kenji Lopez-Alt, one of my favorite recipe writers, kind of said diced tomatoes have like an extra compound in them. So if you get the crushed red tomatoes in the can, it's just tomatoes and salt. That's citric acid.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you get the whole tomatoes, it's salt, citric acid. If you get the diced tomatoes, to keep the diced shape in the can, they add a preservative that affects the flavor. It like diminishes it. It makes it taste weird. So I never buy diced tomatoes. And I always recommend against diced tomatoes. And the fact that like these high-level chefs over here, they own a sandwich restaurant, but they keep the diced tomatoes on hand. All the money was in cans of diced tomatoes.
Yeah.
And like nobody would keep the diced tomatoes on hand. It's just not believable to me.
Yeah.
And I tapped out of the show at that point.
As you should have. Did you watch the second season?
No.
Good. Because I liked the first season, but I detested the second.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you have any tomato-based bugaboos?
Just in general?
About the bear.
About the bear?
Yes.
Oh, wait, tomato based?
Yes.
Well, no. My biggest bugaboo is the whole point of the brother was to like, and the whole point of him coming back was to like, provide for the community and have this like amazing, affordable a meal that the regular people could afford, and it would be good. And then they immediately abandon that, and they turn into this fancy fine dining thing. And maybe it's an arc that they're going to later address that they lost their way or something. I don't know, but I just thought I don't give a fuck about fine dining, and that was the whole point of the show. So yeah,
All right. Fair point.
Yeah.
They got the money in the bad tomatoes, apparently.
right.
But when I'm cooking, I will buy the can of tomatoes. I do like that Simpson brand of tomatoes. I'll usually buy what's cheap. Like, I don't know if I'm getting the Del Monte. Like these days, I'll probably spend up on the Simpsons or the Cento brand. Was it Cento or Cento?
Cento is the Italian, but
Okay.
I probably would say Cento if I had just watched an interview about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I very rarely will spend up for the San Marzanos, I guess is the point I'm
Well,
trying.
Cento are San Marzano. I mean, we'll talk about that, but they say San Marzano on the outside.
Not all Centos.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So before we get to that, what is your tomato buying practices?
So, tomatoes specifically, and I feel a lot more equipped after today to purchase tomatoes because of what I've learned. But tomatoes specifically was such a stressful topic that I didn't buy it. I didn't buy like, oh, I'm going to spend $6 on something that I could also spend $1.50 on. Like, I didn't buy that the difference was actually that much.
When you say spend $1.50 on, are you talking about buying plum tomatoes? You're talking about
No, I'm saying like a can, like whatever, like a store brand versus, something imported from Italy or something like that. I didn't buy that would actually make. I have experienced very acidic cans that you have to balance out, and those are usually the cheaper ones. So like in practice, I knew that there was something there, but I was very overwhelmed by the San Marzano, and it should be imported, and just the whole lore of it all, and the proper practice that I just kind of didn't do the research about it. But then today I spent some time looking at about what a San Marzano is. And it does seem to be a real thing. Like, there's a reason why people are importing these things.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like a look, I'm going to be very honest with you. I do like to spend up on the tomatoes. So like the brands that I'm buying are the Simpson ones or the Cento ones. There's a tomato puree that we buy that comes in a jar that's from Italy that I don't know is so common at most grocery stores, but at a higher end grocery store, you can buy that little can. Or no, it's not a can. It's like a tall jar.
Yeah, it looks like a salsa. Or no, yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah, it's like it's twice the size of a salsa.
Yeah.
Like lengthwise, but really long, skinny.
Yeah.
And I really do find that those tomatoes are a little bit tastier than the Del Monte. However, I very rarely will spend up on the San Marzano. So the Cento,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're all imported from Italy. I
think they are.
did not assume that they were. I know that they are not all San Marzano.
Yeah.
So when you go to the store and look, and these are the tomatoes like that come in the big can.
Yeah.
So you're not so often going to find the Simpson brand, the Cento brand, the Italian-y, the higher end brands in the thinner can, like the soup can, the Chef Boyardee can.
Sure.
They're the wider cans.
Sure.
And I always find them to be quite good, but those are probably closer to the Romas. Maybe they are grown in Italy. I can't speak to where they're actually grown, but there's always the distinction of the San Marzano, especially with the Cento. And it's usually $1.50 more expensive.
Right.
Tomatoes are getting very, very expensive these days. Like I was considering doing a taste test for us today. I was considering buying a thing of normal Cento whole tomatoes and the San Marzano whole tomatoes and doing them side by side and seeing if we could taste the difference. I did not want to spend $12 on this taste test, and you and me both eat one bite of tomato, and then I'm like, can I put that in a plastic bag?
I mean, you'd have to cook with it.
Exactly.
Tonight.
And we are planning on having a tomato-based dinner tonight. It's BLT night in my household.
Okay.
But
that's a different kind of tomato.
Yeah, my partner got some beautiful heirloom tomatoes from the farmer's market, and I was doing an event for a local event.
Dogs.
The Woof Walk, a dog event. I was representing the radio station I work for at this local fundraiser for a no-kill shelter, and there's a new bread baker there. And a friend bought us this loaf of fabulous locally made sourdough, so we're like, oh, it's BLT night. We got to do BLTs. So we're doing that tonight. So I didn't want to eat a slice of a canned tomato on the podcast with you, and throw out all the tomatoes for $12 because shit is expensive.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up doing that.
Yeah. So the Simpson ones, which I didn't know were called Simpson, I just had to look them up. Those were always the fancy ones that I was intimidated by. Okay. Just in terms of like the shape. And I would see them in a fancy store and be like, I don't know, those seem too expensive, kind of a
They are pricier, but they're not as expensive as the Cento. They're the like kind of mid-range fancy.
Yeah.
And they were sued recently. Not recently, but they were sued a few years ago. Did you see anything about this?
No, I didn't, because I didn't look them up.
Okay, so we're talking about San Marzano being sued for not actually, or we're talking about Cento being sued for not actually using the San Marzano tomatoes. And this is a recent story from May 7th of 2026, but I believe in 2024, Simpson was accused of the same thing. So Simpsons used to sell a San Marzano variety. In the same way that Cento, they sell tomatoes, and then despite all the similar labeling, one says San Marzano and that costs an extra $1.50. Simpson was doing that same thing.
Yeah.
However, Simpson's branding, the way that their cans are designed and their logos and things like that, relies heavily on the specific shape of San Marzano tomatoes, which again, longer, more like a chili pepper, like aroma crossed with a chili pepper. And then when they stopped selling the San Marzano variety as part of their line, they changed some of the logos. They use a tomato called the, I think it's the San American tomato. So they shrunk all of the logos and kept just the shape and said, oh, this is our logo.
They also made it say SM.
San American.
Yeah, I know, but it says SM. So what else would that be?
Yeah, it's got to be San Marzano. It is not, obviously. I could tell as a shopper, I'm like, when they stopped doing the San Marzanos, and not that I was buying San Marzanos that much, but I could tell when they stopped having that higher price point tomato, I'm like, oh, these are no longer San Marzano tomatoes. And not to fucking flex, but I'm a little bit of a sophisticated grocery shopper.
Sure.
I do a podcast about groceries. Sure. So I would say you and me were in the top tier of guys who are paying attention at grocery stores.
Sure. But I would have been duped because I'd never have had experience with Simpson, and I knew what the can looks like, and the new one looks identical.
Yeah, it really is tricky. So this is from Courthouse News from February 20th, 2024. It is they're not claiming San Marzano technically anywhere on the can. So it's not a PDO registration type of lawsuit, but this person is suing, saying that it is misleading logo-wise based on the history of the company and what they have sold in the past to make people think that it is San Marzano. So this is a little bit different.
No, it's actually identical. The lawsuit is identical.
It is the same lawsuit?
No, I mean the circumstances are pretty much identical.
Well, I guess
we'll talk about that in some point.
Okay.
I disagree that it's a different
all right.
type of lawsuit.
I would perhaps believe that it's the same lawsuit, but just this seems like they are suggesting that it's San Marzano, whereas Cento is outright saying San Marzano. I think that would be the difference, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer.
Right. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you their case when we get to that.
Well, this Simpson lawsuit has not been resolved to my knowledge. I believe it is still ongoing. But fascinating that this is not the first time that the tomato companies are being sued for mislabeling.
Yeah.
Misleading labeling.
Yeah. So in a second, I'll talk about the current case, but I just want to say that Hunt's, is it's American brand, and they're California grown, and they, on the supermarket website, it said San Marzano style tomatoes. On the box itself, it did not have the word style.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is currently being sold.
You had drugged this out of the grocery store today?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, maybe if I had turned it over and gone real deep in the thing, but if you just look at the shop, it says San Marzano Hunt's.
How much was it? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. Because then I'm used to the Cento San Marzano tomatoes being like a proper $1.50 more expensive than the other stuff.
Right. I'm going on Walmart.com because we can see it.
Does Walmart, what is their store brands?
The Better Goods.
Do they have a Better Goods brand, San Marzano?
No, they have that San Marzano style. So that very clearly says style. And then there, look at that.
San Marzano. I mean, maybe it is.
No,
It is not imported from Italy?
it's not.
Okay.
Because you look at there. Style.
All right, they probably are going to get sued.
Yeah. That does not look very good.
If anybody's looking for a class action lawsuit to file, Hunt's has deep pockets.
Right. So
Not as deep as Heinz, but pretty deep.
So let's give a little bit of let's get some consumer information.
Okay.
If you want to get an actual San Marzano, you look for something that says DOP. DOP is the Italian official accreditation committee that determines that you are following all the rules and this is actually a San Marzano. So
Is it different? I mean, maybe it's just the Italian version of PDO.
it is literally the translation.
Speak Italian.
Yeah. It's anyway, Italian Denominazione di Origine Proietta. So it's literally a protected destination of origin in Italian. So okay. So if it doesn't say DOP, then and we'll talk about Cento, but if it doesn't say DOP, then it's not officially a San Marzano. And if it is a San Marzano style, it's probably going to be grown in the U.S. It's probably going to be grown in California. And in terms of ingredients, the major difference is that they never use citric acid in Italy.
Okay.
And we do. And as far as I could tell, I don't think it's as big of a deal as bloggers will have you believe, but I think that basically they have to get to a certain pH, and they have to get to a certain pH, otherwise it's unsafe. And the citric acid is the way that they nudge it over the edge, if they need to, essentially. So yeah,
Fascinating. And I'll be honest with you, before I really dug into the San Marzano thing, and I feel like I've been digging into it a little bit more, even beyond this lawsuit, like earlier in the lawsuit. When I would look at the cans of San Marzano, I wasn't super aware that it was a PDO. I thought that it was San Marzano style, like, I think it is the Cento brand, where it comes with a little like basil leaf in the can when you buy the Cento brand San Marzanos, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's San Marzano style is like, oh, they throw a basil leaf,
right,
or whatever.
Right, and that's why I didn't believe that this was worth spending money. That's why I would just be like a curmudgeon. And I do actually want to try Walmart's store brand and some of the store brands of the San Marzano style. At some point, we will maybe do a real taste.
We'll do a proper tomato episode. We're mostly focused on the lawsuit.
On the lawsuit right now.
Yes.
Okay. So Cento's whole defense is basically they sometime in the mid-2010s, and it's not entirely, I couldn't find the exact moment, and this is going to be in Discovery, I think. They left the DOP. They stopped participating. They stopped paying. They stopped getting certified from them. And they found a different third party to certify. Now, as far as I can tell, this other third party is very legit. It's not like they spun up their own sort of, whatever, spaghetti kind of fantasy thing. And as far as I can tell, this third party certifier is saying, well, this tomato is grown using San Marzano seeds in the proper region with the proper practices. And, by every rule in the book, this is a San Marzano tomato, but it's not certified by the DOP.
Okay. Wow.
And so that's Cento's defense. And they're basically saying, like, we never misled anybody. We told you exactly what the deal was, and we told you exactly how we're being certified, and you can look that up. We're just not using the DOP. So I actually think they're going to win.
Okay.
I think these people, these class action people, are going to lose.
We should say it's a $25 million lawsuit.
Which is actually not that big.
Okay. We had a... I believe you. Okay.
For a big multinational,
That's
whatever.
Small?
It's not that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
that felt like a lot, and I understand. I was curious that it was is the class action lawsuit being brought on by consumers, or is it being brought on by the DOP/PDO?
Well, there's no proof. There is speculation. There's a lot of online speculation about that.
Okay.
There's no proof that either any of these tomato companies, these very clear competitors, or the DOP is behind the lawsuit. But it would make sense for them to want to protect their infrastructure and not let this runaway rogue organization get away with it.
I mean, again, and we can get it. I don't know if we need to get into the specifics of like all the trademark law, but there is that thing where it's like, even if it feels frivolous or silly, you do have to protect your trademark and your signature products, because if it is seen like legally to be diluted,
right,
then that sets like a bad legal precedent.
Right.
So, I mean, there's that famous example of like some little kid that died and the parents wanted to put Mickey Mouse or Spider-Man on the tombstone. Disney like, oh no, you can't do that because that would dilute our trademark.
Right.
And I agree that it feels unnecessarily cruel, but there's also like a reasonably sound legal precedent that says, oh yeah, we can't let this little kid have Spider-Man on the tombstone.
Yeah.
Because that will lead to further things.
Yeah. So I should also mention that Marzano was sued, Cento was sued for this exact thing in 2019.
Really?
And the lawsuit was dropped. It was just dropped. And there's no proof that there was any payoff or anything like that. It was just, but there might have been, who knows?
Yeah.
But it was just, it's gone. And then the interesting, most newsworthy thing that I could find from the lawsuit, I couldn't find the actual lawsuit, but the class action lawsuit claims that Cento was ejected from the DOP for, quote, committing fraud.
Oh,
so in the mid 2010s when they left. It's not that they left, it's that they were ejected. And that's, I think, going to be a big part of discovery is what exactly happened back then, because nobody knows.
And this lawsuit's being brought in America, is that correct? Or
California.
So it's not even an Italian lawsuit specifically.
Well, Cento is an American brand.
Oh, okay.
So let's do a little bit of history of Cento.
Let's do it.
Cento started as a storefront in Philly in the 50s it was named something else. It's Alfred Cittatelli Sr., and I think he named it after his kids, like kind of squashing his kids together kind of a thing when he named Cento. And then he started an Italian import company in the early 60s. This is the same period that we were talking about frozen pizza. Like Italian craze was going on in America. So he started importing stuff, not just tomatoes, but olive oil and all sorts of stuff from Italy. And then that became Cento. So these are Italian produced, Italian grown, Italian canned tomatoes by an American company. Yeah.
And, this is a whole can of worms or a whole can of tomatoes, but the irregularities in like the Italian olive oil importing situations, do not have time to even touch on that. We will do it one day, but that is just like such a fiasco.
Right.
And I just assume that when you're importing certain goods from certain places, then things are going to get a little hinky and a little unusual. And it seems like tomatoes is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
I know that I think with the Parmesan thing, which is an Italian cheese that is also a PDO, that is something that a lot of companies are often suing each other about. I think you said it's Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah.
That specific designation is like, they're very litigious. And again, I'm not keeping up with who is that the PDO/DOP that's making those lawsuits, or is it like consumers making that lawsuit and like who's backing these lawsuits? So I guess the question I wanted to ask you, and I don't mean this to be a loaded question, and I don't know if I have the specific answer for this, but like, how do you feel about the PDO designation? Like, is it hurtful? Is it helpful?
So, because I was reading a lot about. Well, I want to mention it. Well, okay. So yeah,
we can go back.
I'll come back to the specific Marzano in a bit. I think there needs to be regulations, just in general, in terms of what are we eating and how was it grown and all that kind of stuff. And there needs to be clear documentation that people can trust. In terms of these like private or semi-private, or these like grouping of people getting together and they're all pitching into the same organization, and it's like a government-private partnership, which is a lot of what these things are. That's so shady to me. And it just feels like it's like you're trying to solve, abuse and, people being cute with their ingredients by creating a structure that allows that essentially, or encourages that in certain ways. So, and then you just pay, you pay a certain fee, like to be labeled vegan in Europe, you have to pay someone. And you can't just say like these ingredients are these ingredients, therefore it's vegan. You have to pay someone.
It's the same thing as like kosher and I assume halal. I'm more familiar with kosher stuff.
Yeah.
But you like have to pay a rabbi to come into your facility and certify everything. And that's, it's a little bit of a hustle. Like when I worked for a catering company, they weren't all kosher, but they did a lot of, jobs in Los Angeles, and it was like carts. So it was like a hamburger cart and a hot dog cart and a popcorn cart. And if he did a religious Jewish event, he was a non-religious Jewish guy that owned the company, but he'd have to have a rabbi literally come into his kitchen and do a blessing, and then they'd have to like wrap everything in saran wrap, and it'd have to be like sealed by the rabbi. The rabbi's not doing that for free. They're not coming in to say this is kosher for free for everybody's fun and enjoyment.
That's right.
It's a racket.
He's got a Mercedes-Benz payment.
Exactly. And this PDO thing, you're talking about the Cento company kind of dropping out of or possibly getting kicked out, but maybe they said, is it like, I don't know what the PDO fees are annually. I don't know what it costs to send a San Marzano PDO certifier out to your volcanic ash tomato field to say, okay, this looks good.
Yeah.
And you pay your dues in the PDO. So I don't know, like everything, I guess it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this. I don't remember what it was, maybe chicken or something like that, when we were just talking about food safety in general and how our current food safety system, in my opinion, I'm being very biased when I say this, is just waiting for lawyers to sue. And so why is Purdue going to do safe practices? It's not because they're scared of the FDA. It's because they're scared of someone suing them, which is good. I mean, I guess to some degree that they're scared enough to have safe chicken, but like that's the system we're in. And that's essentially what these DOPs are. They're just sort of a public-private partnership that I don't love. Yeah.
There's, I mean, do you think that the vegan stuff in Europe is better because it's certified? Like,
everything was very clearly labeled.
Okay, so you did enjoy it
in a pleasant, like immediately to see way. So I could shop a lot quicker with a lot more confidence in Europe.
Let me ask you, because I think a lot of my show co-host describes a lot of things as accidentally vegan, like Oreos.
Sure. Yes.
Made without any animal. They've been vegan for 50 years?
Yeah.
Before vegan was really commonplace, just because it's cheaper to make things without, whale blubber as they were to be made in the 30s.
Yeah. Lard. Yeah.
But like, are Oreos are they labeled as vegan in Europe? But
I don't know about in Europe.
Because that's maybe Oreos like, well, it doesn't matter to us if we are labeled as authentically vegan. We don't, why it's not in our best interest to go to the vegan commission and have a 7th level vegan come down and bless us as vegan. We're going to sell Oreos regardless.
Yeah. I know that the Haribo gummies were definitely labeled. They went out of the way.
Okay.
So I don't know if Oreos would do that, but I would.
Gummies were vegan?
Yeah.
I thought that's all like
gelatin.
Gelatin.
Well, gelatin itself is an ingredient that can kind of go either way, because you can have seaweed-based gelatin.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So even just, I mean, typically, of course, gelatin's made of horse hooves. So if you see it, you can assume that it's going to, or cow hooves, but it's probably going to be that. But there are times where it says gelatin and it is still vegan even though it uses that word.
Okay. Wild. I had a question for you.
Sure.
So, respect to the people that are filing the $25 million lawsuit against Cento. If you're going to file a lawsuit against any food company, what lawsuit would you file?
Oh boy. Do you have one? These are hard to.
I don't
These are
really
always
have one.
hard to load up on the.
I know. It's kind of I'm putting out a big question here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always curious. Like, I always feel like I'm getting a raw deal when I eat a hot dog at a place. Like when I go to a place and I get a hot dog, I'm like, it's so mysterious and so weird. I probably feel like I could maybe do a lawsuit based on like what is in that hot dog. And, you know, I really don't eat a lot of chicken nuggets. Like when stuff starts getting like, and again, I'll eat a hot dog from time to time, but when you're getting into like a mechanically separated chicken nugget, I don't know if that you should maybe be calling that chicken so much. Maybe you could call it a chicken sausage.
Okay.
Because it's like ground up.
But you think the word nugget implies a whole piece of chicken?
I guess I think the word chicken implies a certain
So you're
component.
chicken style nugget.
Or chicken based nugget.
Chicken
or
based.
Yeah, chicken sausage nugget. But when you say, when you get a nugget or, you know, like a chicken patty from a fast food restaurant and it's like all ground up. And I'm like, that's not what I think of when I ask for a chicken sandwich. I hope it's like an actual like piece of chicken breast and not a ground up kind of patty or whatever. And what were they doing the gym mats in? Was that the chicken nuggets too? That was gym mat?
Yeah. Yeah, that was chicken nuggets.
Okay. I guess chicken nuggets like.
But it wasn't actually gym mat. It was a preservative that happens to also be put in gym mats. They weren't grounding up gym mats and mixing them in.
I mean, if you had it, I know the answer that you have not had a chicken nugget in a while, but they don't taste like gym mats.
Yeah.
Getting like, you know, I've heard people call them the long boy, that chicken sandwich from Burger King.
Okay.
Where it's like
Yeah.
it's just like a long chicken nugget in a patty that's like on like a longer like hoagie roll. They shouldn't be allowed to call that chicken. And I know that, and I don't eat that, but I just like, I would maybe go buy one and then sue them and say, this is not chicken, actually.
Okay.
Maybe it is chicken, but that's where I would maybe start. That's one I'd challenge, at least.
Yeah. I guess I'm just, you know, there's a lot of processed meat out there, and there's fancy, you know, like prosciutto and stuff like. There's a lot of like things that are even like a sausage is ground up and then reconstituted into a shape.
I know that that's sausage.
It's not.
When you say I'm getting a chicken sandwich, that doesn't feel like the right thing to me.
Okay.
If that's fair.
Sure.
Here's one more for you. And this is something that I've been toying with, and we might do the deeper dive on this a little later on. And we might even have to call an emergency episode on this in a month or two.
Okay.
I was going to pitch this to you off the air. I'm a huge drinker of hard kombucha. I love hard kombucha. It feels like it's on the way out. I feel like it's not as common at stores as much. The major manufacturers are not as prevalent on the shelves as they once were. I'm finding it still getting it. Still got some hard kombuchas when I get home. A little harder to come by. But I guess my question is, the premise of the hard kombucha was that when you make kombucha, there's alcohol in it. And the kombucha that you buy at the store, your Synergy, your Health Aids, etc., are kind of a de-alcoholized kombucha, where they say, it's still got maybe 0.5%, but we got to put it on the label because there's a little bit of alcohol in it. But we've taken the alcohol out of the kombucha. And I think the premise of the hard kombucha, at least implicit, if not explicit premise, this was never said on the label, but it's like, what if we didn't take out the alcohol from the kombucha and left it in and sold it as like an adult beverage? And my suspicion is that they're just like they're adding like whack ass alcohol back into the kombucha.
So we looked this up with our John Cullen episode. The way that I forget, I looked it up at least one of the major hard kombucha brands, but I forget who it was. The way they make hard kombucha was not all sneaky like that.
Okay.
It was basically just they made kombucha and then they put extra yeast into it and then they made it just like a beer.
Okay.
And that was it.
I love to hear that. I feel like I've had not one of the main brands of kombucha. I feel like I've had a lower quality kombucha that was maybe like closer to a White Claw than a kombucha.
Yeah.
So that might be something that I would want to file a class action lawsuit about.
Sure.
But the main kombucha brands that I'm buying for my own personal consumption that are alcohol and like feel like pretty legit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't have one. I mean, I would sue everybody. I want everybody to be better. The bagged salads sketch me out even though I eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't trust their triple washing process or whatever.
I think that's
I eat it, but there's a part of me that's like, I'm going to get sick from this thing.
And I feel that way as well. I've been buying less bag salads lately. But there are times where I almost got a bag salad for lunch today. And I think you were the one that particularly told me, like, you should never expect to, like, not get sick from eating a bag salad again.
Yeah, because it's, yeah.
And we will do this. Boy, do we have salad episodes in us. Oh, boy, do we have salad episodes in us. But you were the one that kind of set the alarm off for me as far as, like, deregulation of, like, you know, inspectors and even certification and things like that. You were the one that said maybe don't eat so much bag salad.
Yeah,
you said that a couple years ago, maybe.
Well, it was after whatever this guy's name. That guy was
RFK Jr.
Yeah, RFK Jr. It was after, so probably about a year ago. But yeah, I just don't try. I mean,
still getting into them.
I still do buy them, but not that frequently. And every time I do it, triple washed. I don't wash it because I'm lazy.
Okay.
But I'm like, I'm probably gonna get sick.
You know, I have to tell you, you gave me that warning when Rifke Jr. came on. Mm-hmm. He's the son of the brother of the former president, John F. Kennedy Jr. Now we know him, RFK Jr. And you kind of gave me that warning, and I've really cut down on my prepackaged salad eating actually.
Yeah.
And my partner's been a long supporter of, she goes to the farmer's market and buys kale, which we're a big conversation in the house right now is the kale regulations and like pesticides in kale. But she is a fiend for buys the big whole leaf kale at the farmer's market and washes it really like has a whole washing routine that he does. And because you gave me that warning about the pre-bagged salads, yeah, still have them from time to time, but I am making my own salads a lot more based on you warning me a little bit.
It probably is healthy. I mean, one of the main reasons why I warned it at that time is we were doing. It's just I was just looking at like what are recent recalls and what are recent salmonella, and like bag salads were a high hit ratio for any recent news about a recall. So yeah.
I mean, as we're really digging into the PDO and DLP, if you say it with the Italian accent, like what qualifies as a San Marzano tomato, and like you have to pay in for the certification. It has to be grown in certain volcanic ashes. It has to be certain like varietal. Mm-hmm. I would be super curious to learn what the triple washing, what counts as being triple washed.
Yep.
That's a interesting.
Yep.
I'm having flashbacks of Mark Summers hosted episodes of Unwrapped, where it's just like big assembly lines of like romaine lettuce going under the water once and then up and then under and then up and then under again, like
right.
What does that triple wash actually look like? Worthy topic for a future episode.
For sure. One thing I just want to mention is that, have you ever bought Muti?
I've seen it. I think that might be the company that makes the tall, skinny,
I think
pureed tomatoes. Like it's in a tall, skinny jar.
Yeah.
Looks like a wine bottle almost.
So as far as I could tell, Muti is the most used brand in Italy. If you're in Italy and you're making pasta, you will probably buy Muti.
Okay.
And they don't have exclusively San Marzano, but they do have DOP certified San Marzano. So those seem to be pretty reliable in terms of like they will be around and they will be following the rules. Yeah.
All right. And as a rule follower myself, I'm thrilled to buy the tomato company that follows the rules.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to start buying San Marzanos, do you think, if you're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay, really? Okay.
Because I didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me about the slicing thing a few months ago.
What was the slicing?
Just don't buy diced tomatoes. Don't buy diced tomatoes. So, and I've been aware that like some tomatoes just have this acidic taste that I got to work to get out. So now I'm kind of begrudgingly like, okay, maybe this is a thing. So I'm going to have to start experimenting with, I'll get San Marzano style. Also, I just want to mention in the Serious Eats taste test, a number of the San Marzano style tomatoes grown in California were like basically neck and neck with the San Marzano.
Oh, I would. I guess maybe we haven't said, but I would absolutely believe that the San Marzano style tomatoes would be as good as the San Marzano tomatoes, just as long as they're labeled appropriately.
Right.
And, I can't say I've done the taste test, like the back-to-back taste test with the let's say Cento brand, their whole plum tomatoes versus the San Marzano style tomatoes. Like I've not done the back-to-back. If I'm making pizza, I will maybe spend up on the San Marzano ones because when we make pizza at our house, it's pretty much just tomatoes, like, pureed tomatoes with a little like garlic, salt. Like we're not cooking it. It's more or less thrown raw onto the raw dough. So you want it to be as good as possible. But if I'm making pasta, I'm not going to get the San Marzano tomatoes. Like I'm going to throw in a bunch of other crap in there, mushroom, sausage, spaghetti noodles. I don't need to get the nice stuff. So occasionally I'll spend up for the San Marzano, and if it's on sale, I'll sometimes stock up and say, okay, this is just pizza. But we still do buy the Simpsons brand or the Cento brand, whichever's cheaper at the store is usually how we roll. Sorry to the Hunts family, but we ain't buying the Hunts tomatoes so much.
Yeah. Sorry, Hunts. Well, they're about to be sued, so we
Double sorry.
see it right now. Yeah.
That's what we've got for San Marzano tomatoes. We'll keep an eye on the lawsuits, and if we find out any more information, if they're settled or thrown out, or some lucky grocery store shoppers get $25 million to split amongst themselves, maybe you and me will get a check.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I'm a big fan of submitting for a class action, even if you are remotely eligible.
Absolutely.
So maybe we'll get one. But also, I think Cento's going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's my bet.
Diminishments to the DOP/PDO.
Yeah, totally.
Well, maybe we can start our own champagne manufacturer. Maybe we can do our own Comté cheese. Once the PDO is diluted and diminished, crippled.